Welcome back to NASCAR Thunder 2004 for race 20 of 36. 6 races left until the Winston Cup playoffs begin at Darlington. So today we will be at the Pocono Oval for this race. 3 different turns, banked after 3 different racetracks. A nightmare for crew chiefs to prepare for. Arguably one of the toughest tracks on the Winston Cup circuit. Last time the circuit was out here at Pocono, it was on the unique road course layout where Dylan Murway and Tony Stewart engaged in an intense battle for the win. That was a fuel mileage battle that Tony Stewart got the upper hand in. You know, with the way the point standings have jumbled around the past couple days, Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart are the top 2 drivers in the regular season standings. Dylan Murway is 3rd, and he's got the most wins out of anybody this season. So let's go trackside.
Welcome to Pocono Raceway, located in the heart of the beautiful Pocono Mountains for today's Pennsylvania 500 on MRN. And Barney, there are a few unique twists to this 2.5-mile tri-oval.
Unique is definitely the word for this racetrack. First of all, there are only 3 corners, each of which has completely different banking, which also means there are 3 straightaways. And guess what? They're all different lengths. This is one tough racetrack to prepare a race car for.
The 64 car always gets around these speedways mighty fast in qualifying.
Yeah, but don't forget, Joe, it takes a lot of people working together to get that car starting in the top 10 every week.
Jimmy Johnson finished 2002 with 3 wins and a 5th place finish in the championship standings.
He had a great year, but he was not quite able to catch Ryan Newman for Rookie of the Year honors.
Bill Elliott owned and drove for his own race team for 6 years before joining Ray Evernham in 2001.
You know, driving for your own race team is a tough deal. I think Bill was happy to get back to worrying about one thing, being fast out there on the racetrack.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Well, here's the starting lineup.
Jeff Gordon, the NASCAR Winston Cup points leader, will be starting from the number 2 spot. In the second row are the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet and the Lowe Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 3 are the Team Rusty Dodge and the Home Depot Chevrolet. The fourth row has the Dale Jr. Chevrolet and the 32 car. Starting the race from row 5 will be the Interstate Battery Chevrolet and the Singular Wireless Chevrolet. In row 6, we have the Dodge Dealers UAW Dodge and the 17 car. Starting from row 7 will be the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet and the Alltel Dodge. In the 8th row are the Rubbermaid Sharpie Ford and the U.S. Army Pontiac. In the 9th row, we have the M&M's Ford and the Sterling Marlin Dodge. In the 10th row are the Pfizer Ford and the Valvoline Pontiac. Starting the race from row 11 are the UAW Delphi Chevrolet and the UPS Ford. The 12th row has the Kodak Max Film Pontiac and the Citgo Ford. Starting the race from row 13 will be the Dodge Dealers UAW Dodge and the 57 car. In row 14, we have the Stacker 2 Dodge and the Granger Ford. Starting from row 15 will be the 42 car and the Net Zero Pontiac. In In the 16th row are the BAM Racing Dodge and the Hooters Ford. In the 17th row are the Cheerios Dodge and the Caterpillar Dodge. In the 18th row are the Target Dodge and the America Online Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 19 are the O2 car and the Autobahn Ford. The 20th row has the Dr. Pepper Dodge and the Motorcraft Ford. Starting the race from row 21 will be the Kellogg Chevrolet and the Pennzoil Chevrolet. And finally, starting from the rear of the field will be the Georgia Pacific Dodge.
50 laps today around the Tricky Triangle. The Pocono Raceway, race 20 of 36. Jeff Gordon, the regular season point leader, will be starting on the pole. Michael Waltrip and Jimmy Johnson, the two highest drivers in the top 16 right now that do not have a win, will be starting behind. And we'll see how this race plays out. Dylan Murway, Jeff Gordon, bring him down. We are green at Pocono. Side by side already between two Hendrick Motorsports teammates. Jimmy Johnson gets a big shove going into turn 3 as Johnson will take the lead coming out of turn 2. Somehow everybody made it through side by side, going side by side in the tunnel, which normally that doesn't work. In fact, Kevin Harvick actually spun in the tunnel during final practice yesterday because he was going side by side with the 60th Stanton Barrett. Kevin Harvick did not damage his car somehow. But side by side going into turn 2, especially the tunnel, can be a very dangerous thing to do. Jimmy Johnson gets pushed out front. He's the early leader. Remember, he does not have a win yet this season. His teammate Jeff Gordon has visited victory lane 3 times. He won it all in different paint schemes than his normal red DuPont Flames that he runs every Sunday. Well, he's won in 3 different schemes this year. So he won the Coke 600 in the Bugs Bunny car. He won Dover in the Bugs Bunny car again. And he won Kansas last Thursday night in the DuPont Chevrolet, beating out Dylan Murway in a close finish. And so far, looks like Jeff Gordon today is currently running in 4th, trying to battle the 2 of Rusty Wallace, it looks like. Out front, Dylan Murway just passed Jimmy Johnson a few moments ago and is your early leader here at Pocono. Rusty Wallace is 3rd. Bobby Labonte rounds out the top 5. And Johnson got a runoff 2 there. They're still side by side, neck and neck going into 3. And Dylan's going to give that spot to Johnson. Ooh, wow, that was scary. Dylan luckily got out of it. Here comes Jeff Gordon in the 4th spot with the 2 of Rusty Wallace with him. So Jimmy Johnson and Dylan Murray have broken away from the pack. You can see the benefits of getting a draft from somebody on that initial start. Dylan Murray saw an opportunity instead of taking 3 wide into the tunnel on lap 1, which is very dangerous. 3 wide anytime in the tunnel is a bad move, especially if your car gets tight and ends up wrecking the entire field. So, wise move for Dylan Murray to stay tucked in behind Jimmy Johnson and just give him a push past his teammate on that initial start. The problem, though, is when you're single file behind the car in front of you, it's very easy for drivers to suck up and pass. So that's why occasionally you might see some guys try to break the draft, very similar to what they see in open wheel cars. You see Dylan will go to the top and then immediately to the bottom to try to break the draft from Jimmy Johnson. Granted, there wasn't really a whole lot of change. It's usually recommended on big straightaways like coming out of turn 3. Goes out to the wall. Then down to the inside. And then all the way up top. Allows himself to pull away from Jimmy Johnson. Seven laps complete in the Pennsylvania 500 today at Pocono. Dylan Murray is your early leader. He is currently inching away from Jimmy Johnson and has a weak pull to the draft because of him trying to break the draft, snaking down the backstretch, down the straightaway. That actually has helped Dylan actually get some momentum and pull away from Johnson. Through turn 3, out towards the wall, back to the bottom. And that actually allowed Dylan to put a second on him, too. That's snaking works. In fact, you can barely see Jimmy Johnson there for second. As Dylan goes down into turn 3, you barely see that 48 car. By the way, Rusty Wallace was kicked out of the top 5 just a few moments ago. Unclear to see where he's at. He's probably working his way in, battling with the 18 of Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte is the 2001 Pennsylvania 500 winner. So the top 5, Dylan Murray, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., and Bobby Labonte. Labonte, he does not have a win. He is currently the last driver in on points. He's got a 4-point gap over Jeff Burton, who's made a solid climb this season. Same with the 32 of Craven. So he's got 2 points on Burton, 7 points on Craven. That's the playoff standings update there. As they run right now. And just like that, Dylan Murray has added another second to his lead. He's got 2 seconds on Jimmy Johnson going down into turn 1. The field hasn't really broken apart a whole lot. Jimmy Johnson is falling back to the clutches of his teammate, Jeff Gordon, for second. Gordon to take second from his teammate. Johnson looking to keep second. Ricky Rudd and Kyle Petty, just a reminder, they both hit to take provisionals. Ricky Rudd is moved his way up through the pack so far. Kyle Petty has not. Dylan Murray pulling away from Jimmy Johnson going down the backstretch. 10 laps are complete in the Pennsylvania 500. We are working lap 11. Dylan Murray has led all but 2 so far. 2 or 3. Jimmy Johnson's the only other leader we've had so far today. Jeff Gordon is taking second from his teammate. As Dylan continues to pull away from Gordon, who's got 3 seconds to make up if he wants to catch Dylan Murray. Jeff Gordon won Thursday night back at Kansas 1 week ago, or a couple weeks ago at this point. Yeah, it was 1 week ago. After this, it'll be a week break and then out to Sawmill next week. The unique racetrack that makes its way through a mountain region in Mill Valley, California. They're running the Lumberjack 325. There's rumors that that race could be moved to a street circuit in California next year, in downtown California, the Dockside International Raceway, in next year's Winston Cup schedule, which surprisingly, believe it or not, does not feature a Watkins Glen doubleheader, but features one Darlington race. There are currently no plans for a Thursday night race like we've had 2 this year. However, at the moment, while the schedule is taking shape, dates and times are subject to change. "13 laps complete. We are working lap 14 in the Pennsylvania 500. Dylan Murray is all but ran and hid away from the 24 Jeff Gordon. Jimmy Johnson, Bobby Labonte, Dale Jr. fighting in for third. And it looks like that's basically going to be old news, is nobody can catch the 64 car. Emphasis on the word nobody. Dylan Murray continues to pull away. We did have a bit of a moment further in the back between Ricky Craven and probably it was Johnny Benson and another car. Might have been the 30 of Steve Park. Both cars got together, got up the track. The caution did not come out. Remember, if a driver were to run out of fuel, which this race has historically been a fuel mileage event, if the driver runs out of fuel, it is a long way around. If you run out of fuel going down the front stretch, it's a bit of a cruise. especially if you run out on the front stretch. Dylan Murway continues to pull away. He is getting in his pit window, so we should see green flag stops in the next lap or two. Or maybe 3, depending on how far they want to stretch it. So far, no drivers have blown motors yet, which we've had at least 1 or 2 the past probably month and a half of racing. But with how big and how RPM intensive this track is, that can change. That almost always does change. Bill Murray continues his run down the backstretch. Pit next time, dude. Pit next time. Next time by. Come to pit road. That was Dylan's crew chief talking. You're getting tight on fuel, dude. You got a little over 2.5 gallons of fuel here, dude. So if I were you, I'd think about pitting. Tony Stewart has made his way into the top 5, passing his teammate Bobby Labonte. So the top 5, Dylan Murway, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr., and Tony Stewart. Jimmy Johnson, reminder, he was in a crash here in the Pocono Road Course race back in June. In the June event at this place. Both cars got together in an accident, took both of them out of contention. Took Jack Sprague out. He didn't really run that well to begin with. But Jimmy Johnson didn't have a good day. Dylan Murway obviously ran out of fuel in that race, battling Tony Stewart. If we remember correctly. Dylan Murray comes down pit road. The field battles up front. This begins the first round of green flag stops today. Dylan Murray back out on the racetrack. Great stop for the 64 team, and comes out in last. So we should see drivers coming to pit road this time. Already several cars have broken out off of pit road. And here comes Dylan Murway to make up the ground he lost. Green flag pit stops have begun officially. Probably could have waited another lap, but I don't want to take chances at a place like Pocono. So you see Kevin Grubb on the racetrack. He finished second in that bizarre race at New Hampshire a few weeks ago. Is only top 5 on a limited schedule this year. It's by Kevin Grubb for position. Kevin Grubb well off the pace. So you see Fittipaldi down on pit road. Greg Biffle, looks like Kenny Wallace. And Dylan Murway will make his way up to the 14th position here on lap 22. So drivers that have not pitted, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, and Rusty Wallace, along with Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman, they have not pitted. They'll probably pit next time if I have an idea on pit strategy between these drivers. Yeah, pit road. Dylan Murway is up to 12th. We have two down the back stretch, heading into turn 2. And the rest of the leaders have come to pit road. So this means within a lap or two, Dylan Murway will take the lead. Actually, probably this lap, he'll reassume the top spot. Dylan Murway makes his way through turn 1. Mike Skinner coming back onto the track after green flag stops. So this means that pit stops have been complete. Jeff Gordon is cycled out to the 2nd position. Great run for Rusty Wallace today. He's in 10th. The Kansas winner, Jeff Gordon, has moved up to the 2nd position. Tony Stewart is currently scored not this far down. But amazingly, all 43 cars are still on track, by the way. And as we get close to the halfway point, Tony Stewart is scored in 8th. Spent some time out front. And out front, it has been the Dylan Murway show here at Pocono. He took the lead from Jimmy Johnson. Only lost, but in terms of green flag racing on the track, he's only been passed once for the lead. And that was that early stretch with Jimmy Johnson and how Dylan can't seem to go on the initial starts. Restart, once he gets going, he's fast, but on the initial start, it always seems to be an issue with trying to get going. Mark Martin has made his way up to 4th. Bobby Labonte is back in the top 5. Building our way out of turn 3, across the front stretch. And another lap led. Today, he's got almost 10 seconds on Jeff Gordon. The rest of the field is 12 seconds back or more. Dylan Murway, Kevin Grubb holding his line. And Murway will get away from Kevin Grubb as they race down towards turn 3. the only close competitor to Dylan Murray is Jeff Gordon right now. Similar situation to Sonoma in terms of how that played out. Dylan Murray making his way through 1 and 2. He should catch lap traffic here very shortly. I got shoulder itch. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has made his way to third. That is another update. Mark Martin and Bobby Labonte are in the top 5. That has not, for the top 5 virtually has not changed at this point. Dylan Murray has ran and hid. Comes off turn 4. Jimmy Johnson, Rusty Wallace, and Tony Stewart all fight for 6th, while Kevin Harvick and Kurt Busch ran out the top 10. Going through 1 and 2. Turn 2, I'm sorry. And a couple more cars down on pit road. And there are more cars coming to pit lane. Looks like Mike Skinner, Kyle Petty, most of these are back markers at this point. Bobby Labonte has passed Mark Martin for 4th. You can see on the top 5 crawl on the right side of the screen. But at this point, all we really can do is just watch Dylan Murray run and hide.
Your right front tire's wearing down. Try another line or you won't last.
We've ran the first 28 laps of this race caution-free, about to be 29. And Dylan Murray is gone. He's already packing his bags and getting ready to go out west to California.
52-13. Good lap. Halfway on fuel.
So 21 to go here at the Pennsylvania 500. Dylan Murray is your leader. Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., Bobby Labonte, and Mark Martin are the top 5. Dylan Murray has a staggering 9-second lead over Jeff Gordon. Coming in line, 20 laps to go. No driver is fallen out of the race. Dylan Murray has a staggering 10-second gap over Jeff Gordon. Trust me when I say this, we really do mean staggering. Dylan Murray almost reached 200 miles an hour going into the tunnel turn. As we look through the rest of the field, got a few lap cars. Kevin LePage and Dylan Murray are near each other. This ought to get interesting. Those two get near each other. That ought to be fun. Oh, Kevin LePage and Dylan get together. Still green. We're still green. Kevin LePage just put Dylan in the wall. Could there be damage to the 64 and maybe a tie rub even? And I don't think Dylan appreciated that move. And there goes Kevin LePage around. First yellow of the afternoon, of the late afternoon. LePage goes around, the Loudon winner, quote unquote. By the way, Dylan has led the most laps to this point. Got Jimmy Johnson back there with Kevin Grubb. So you see the EA Sports pit summary. Pace car is off. Jimmy Johnson is on the lead lap. Green flag back into the air. Multiple drivers a lap down, believe it or not. Terrible restart for Dylan Murway as he is losing several positions. Letting 3 cars by. Harvick, Kurt Busch, and Jimmy Johnson are a lap down. Jeff Gordon is getting ready to challenge Dylan Murway for the lead, coming out of 2. Ooh, Gordon, he stuck his nose in initially. I thought he was going to maybe give him a little shot. Jeff Gordon is there. Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, 3 drivers currently highest on points going into this race. This might get interesting. Dylan goes high. Here comes Jeff Gordon coming to the lead. He brings Junior with him. Contact was made. Out front, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr. looking to battle for the win. The lead here. He's got everybody around him. He's got 2 lap cars. Junior's going to do a move that looks like something his dad would probably do. Harvick goes with Junior. Gordon trying to tuck in behind his teammate. They're still racing each other up front. Contact. Johnson and Harvick get together. Junior to the point. Gordon is in second, and Dylan's going to go with Gordon and Freight Train Harvick. Dylan covers the spot. He is in third. Does Dylan team up with Gordon going down the front stretch? Save all he can. Oh, contact. Gordon and Junior get together. Gordon to the point. Could there be damage to the 8 car as well? It looks like it might have rubbed some the lettering off the Goodyear wheels. Junior to the point in turn 1. Junior and Gordon fight for the lead going down the backstretch. Junior and Gordon fight for the lead, coming to the line. Turn 3, I'm sorry. Dylan's going to have to pit. Dylan underneath Gordon for second. Side by side off of 3. Dylan to the point. All the way downstairs. Kenseth has made his way into the top 5. 11 to go. For Pocono, this is some good racing. Dylan Murway, Jeff Gordon neck and neck through 1. Junior has a spot on the inside. Dylan trying to side draft. And here comes Dylan. He needs a caution. Top off and fuel. Dylan couldn't make the fuel run. The last. Unfortunately. Comes down with 11 to go.
Just 10 laps left. The driver stops on a dime, and now the pit crew will go to work on his race car. It looks like, yes, it'll only be a two-tire stop. So a little bit of a gamble here, taking only 2 tires.
In the pit road. And Dylan Murway will come out in the 31st position, hoping and praying for a caution. And there it is, turn 2. Dylan Murway goes around. They race back to the caution. Dylan Murway goes for a spin. Single car spins, second one of the afternoon. Jeff Gordon comes to take the caution flag at lap 41. Here we go. 8-lap sprint to the finish. 6 to go. Sorry. Wow. Anyways, we're back in the green. 5 laps of racing left here at Pocono. Here comes Dylan trying to make up as much positions as he can. In 5 laps, basically. Dylan Murway just took 4 wide in the tunnel, and it sticks. Wow. 4 wide in the tunnel. That never works very well. Mayfield gets into Brett Bodine. Dylan's just clipping the racetrack at this point. Coming off with 4, 3 wide there, 4 laps to go at the front. Dylan Murway banged his way through the field. He's going to try to take Jarrett to the front. Going to give him a bit of a shove. Going 3 wide in the tunnel, 4 to go. Who cares if it doesn't work? He's going for the win. Marlin tried blocking Waltrip going into 3. Oh, this could get ugly. Waltrip, crash. Big wreck. This could be the race. They race to the caution flag. Waltrip gets turned into the wall when Marlin comes across the nose of the 15. Benson was the other car involved. Waltrip into the fence. Single car incident there. This might be the race. I thought that was going to be bigger. So this means this race will end under caution. And it looks like, clear to see who they give the win. Looks like Jeff Gordon earns his 4th win of the year here at the Pennsylvania 500.
After leading all those laps, will not get a trophy.
Yeah, he just didn't lead the most important one, the lap where the checkered flag came out.
The 64 car has begun a new rivalry on the racetrack.
It should be interesting next time they get next to each other on the racetrack. At this point, nobody wants to back down, and we could see some sparks fly.
This has been NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, brought to you by EA Sports and MRN. Next up is Sawmill.
So Jeff Gordon has earned his 4th victory of the season. As we look through the top 10, Dale Jr. finishes 2nd, Ryan Newman 3rd, Matt Kenseth 4th, Bobby Labonte 5th, Tony Stewart 6th, Jeff Green 7th, Mark Martin 8th, Ricky Craven 9th, and Rusty Wallace rounds out the top 10. Jeff Green, shout out to him after starting 42nd today. Look for the rest of the field. Tough break for Dylan Murway. Led the most laps, but it comes up short again. Another chronicle is Dylan Murway joins Jeff Gordon, just like on Thunder 2003, with the most victories this season with 4. For the rest of the field, Michael Waltrip in a late accident with Sterling Marlin ends up 22nd. And it looks like Waltrip and Marlin are having a discussion. Doesn't look like it's a rather pleasant one. A lot of yelling, and crew members are near each other. We'll get on that here in a few moments. Jimmy Johnson, wow. Starting 4th today. Ends up 32nd. Definitely a blow for his efforts. Same with Kevin Harvick. He led a lap today. He ends up 38th. So that really just jumbles things up even further for guys that are trying to fight to get into the playoffs. But the first time in a while, no cars retired from the race. So we head to a unique road course next week where we could see an upset winner. And by that I mean there's a road course that nobody's heard of. It's a racing facility located in the mountains in Mill Valley, California. So we'll look at point standings. Jeff Gordon is still 55 points ahead of Tony Stewart, but a lot of things can change heading into these next few races. So awards for the week. Dylan Murway won the pole, led the most laps, had the fastest lap, and was the best rookie. Jeff Green passed the most cars, and Matt Kenseth made the most exciting pass. Dylan Murway has a 900-point lead over Jamie McMurray in the Rookie of the Year awards. And Chevrolet has a almost 30-point lead over Ford in the manufacturer standings. And Jeff Gordon becomes the first driver not named Murway to crack triple digits in the EA Sports Lap Champion Award. So looking through some of the awards so far. Wow. Looking at the schedule here the next week. So next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll be out at Mill Valley, California for a 2-mile road course, Sawmill Speedway for the running of the Lumberjack 325. Probably the first different road course that isn't on the East Coast until track that's not on the East Coast until Darlington. In the regular season. Then you got 2 races at Watkins Glen, 3 races in the Daytona area, and then we're in the playoffs. We'll see you next Saturday.